Ever wonder how all this even started? We all use devices today, in school, at home, at work, etc. But have you ever wondered what created all this? And how we have progressed to today? This all started because of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in 1760 in Great Britain. This caused huge success for decades for both the United States and Great Britain. Some inventions were really important. Steam engines, car engines, telegraphs, incandescent light bulbs, phonographs, telephones, spinning jennies, and photographs. We aren't focusing on most of those, though. We are going to talk about the inventions of the Industrial Revolution and how they contributed to what we have today. We will talk a little bit about them, though.
Let's talk about the telegraph now.
The first telegraph was invented around 1844. Samuel F.B. was seen as the inventor, but he didn't really invent it. He did get federal funding for it and also a patent. The first message he sent in the telegraph was, "What hath gone wrong?" Telegraphs were used to send messages long distances, usually through electronic signals transmitted by wires. It was a beneficial way to communicate for many years. It's evolved into today's communication.
Your telegraph is evolving into telephone!
Telephones were created in 1877 to 78 when the first telephone line was laid down. This caused a huge rise in telephone usage. In order to make a phone call, you would have to call an operator, and then that operator would plug in your phone line to the phone line of that person you wanted to call. This was not secure, as the operator could, and often would, listen to the conversations. Some telephones were hooked up to telephone lines that multiple telephones were connected to. These were known as party lines. On party lines, anyone could listen to a phone call in progress. Party lines were not secure because of this, but they were often cheaper than just getting your own phone line. Pagers worked with telephones and mobile phones. Pagers were devices that would beep and vibrate whenever you got a call. This was known as paging. They would display the phone number of the person calling you so that you could call them back later.
Computers came after the telephones. The first computer was the ENIAC. This device was built during World War II and was made to compute values of artillery range tables, and when given the instructions from plug boards, it would get high speeds to get it done and relay the information, but it had a drawback. The plug board would have to be shut down for days in order to reconfigure the wires attached to it, but it was still a powerful computer of that time. It could also be reprogrammed for many, many other uses, and it was a very flexible machine, but also a very large one. Mobile phones. We might love them, but nobody exactly knows how they originated. The first mobile phone was the Motorola Dynatac, otherwise known as the Brick. This mobile phone would have to connect to different cell stations around the US. These cell stations ran on different frequencies, and the Brick could connect to different cells smoothly. The different frequencies allowed the phones to communicate without interference with one another.
iPods were devices that played music. The first iPod was made in 2001. It was a smallish device that you could use to hear music through it. We don't need to focus on this much, though. Apple, Samsung, and Google are some of the biggest of today's technological companies, creating today's computers, phones, tablets, and other devices. All of these inventions were all due to the Industrial Revolution. Let's go to Caden for more in-depth about these devices, as they are useful in how we live today.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it?
It's just like Steve Jobs said, iPod, phone, internet communications device. It was these words that marked the beginning of the iPhone. The iPhone was released on June 9th, 2007. It featured easy-to-use controls, a multi-touch interface, and a 2-megapixel camera. Every year since then, Apple has made constant improvements to the iPhone and its functionality. The iPhone is used to search things, make phone calls, and listen to music. It has its own web browser called Safari. It has your basic telephone app that makes and receives calls and lets you access your voicemails. It has the iPod function, now known as Apple Music. Apple has also made iPads, which are generally the same thing as iPhones, just with a bigger display. iPads are not meant to make phone calls or text over cell service, although you can use them to text over Wi-Fi and do FaceTime calls. Apple's MacBooks run on what is known as Mac OS.
So, we all understand now how all of these devices, the ones you are watching this on right now, and how this whole documentary was built together, was created. One of the long-term effects of the Industrial Revolution that we normally don't bat an eye at is technology. What we have today is all because of the help of the Industrial Revolution.
This has been another Chinken Nugget production. Computers came after the telephones. The first computer was the INEAC. Oh, shoot.
He did get federal, but he did get federal funding for it, and also the patent.
It's called a patent.
He did get federal funding for it, and also how do you say that word again?
Patent. It's just like, it is just like Steve Jobs said.
Joe?
Joe Mama?